Good morning everybody, good morning, it's JPR, and welcome to our first video of the Gen 9 era. That's right, we're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet today. And, you know, at this point, I'm sure that you all have seen more than enough reaction videos and trailer analysis videos, like, we get it, it's gonna be Spain. Crazy, right? So I figured I'd just do my own thing. Let's throw it back to, like, 2013 and do the top 10 evolutions for old Pokemon that I want to see in Gen 9. Since regional evolutions are something that they're actually doing again. Let's get into it. Number 10. Gen 1 Pokemon have been getting way too much love in recent generations, and odds are Charizard will have at least half a dozen more forms before we all die. But before the inevitable happens, there is a Gen 1 Pokemon that I think deserves an evolution more than any other. Digong. Seal and Digong are both very representative of the way Pokemon used to be designed. Everything from their basic shapes and lack of color all the way down to having the most uninspired names in the series. These two are in drastic need of not only new regional forms, but an evolution as well. With no base stats above 100, Digong is simply not cutting it by current day standards. I don't want to say he fell off plus L plus ratio because he never really had anywhere to fall from. Even in Gen 1, Digong was largely overshadowed by Lapras as the popular water-ice type. Real-life Spain is located on the edge of a clockwise rotating gyre in the Atlantic Ocean, which makes the seawater a bit colder than you might expect, making it an ideal climate for Digong to be found in. I don't actually know that, it's a fictional creature, let's just roll with it. And in case you've never heard of a real-life Digong, it's probably because they're endangered or in some areas completely extinct. For this reason, if they want to go the depressing Galarian Corsola route, a Spanish Digong in its evolution might be Ice Ghost types. Water Ghost could work too, but that type is a little more saturated than Ice Ghost, which is currently only repped by Frostlass. At any rate, regardless of what they do, Digong is pretty much a blank canvas for them to draw upon, so why not? Number 9. Our Gen 2 rep is, come on, say it with me, Dunsparce. Look man, at this point, I don't care what type they add to it or what they make it look like, this is always the Pokemon that people talk about when it comes to getting an evolution. Farfetch'd, Quillfish, and Stantler were definitely in that conversation before, but sadly they've graduated, leaving poor Dunsparce alone. Dunsparce is apparently based on a snake-like cryptid in Japan, which is why he's surprisingly a whopping 4 feet 11 inches long, or 1.5 meters for my international viewers. So if they wanted to tap further into its origin, why not go for Dragon-type? Many of Dunsparce's Pokedex entries note its ability to quickly burrow into the ground as well, so Dragon Ground maybe? I don't know, after 20 years of mediocrity, making him into a Walmart brand Zygarde actually sounds kinda funny. Number 8. Who said we couldn't give an evolution to a Pokemon that already has one? I mean, Yamask and Scyther already had good evolutions, but that didn't stop Gen 8 from mixing it up a little bit. So for the next on the list, I think a regional variant of Vigoroth with a new evolution would be awesome. I actually quite like the Slackoth line, but it's always such a pain to use slacking effectively. So what if in this region, Vigoroth's feisty spirit never wore off? Now, obviously, as far as base stats are concerned, this thing would have to be far weaker than Slacking since he no longer has Truant holding him back. I think the appropriate typing for this new evolution would be Fighting Psychic, Fighting to reflect its heightened sense of aggression, and Psychic to help explain how it overcame its natural instinct to slack off. I really like split evolution lines that show how a Pokemon could theoretically develop in different ways, like Scizor and Kleavor, and I think that the slack off line is begging for something similar to happen to them. Number 7. A Pokemon that's been begging for buffs for ages, Tropius. I've always thought that design-wise, Tropius is one of the coolest Pokemon around, but sadly his typing and stats have always left a lot to be desired. Gen 8 attempted to give him some buffs by adding Dragon Dance and Dragon Hammer to his level-up moveset, but it still wasn't enough. I think it's time to finally go all in and make him into a Grass Dragon type with a new evolution to boot. Brothers and sisters, help me spread the gospel of Tropius. This man needs all the help he can get. Number 6. The lone Gen 4 Pokemon on this list, Chatot. Chatot is a member of a group that many would call Gimmick Pokemon. A Pokemon that isn't really meant to be good, but at least has a funny quirk to fall back on. Except, Chatot lost his funny quirk. His signature move, Chatter, lost the ability to record audio in Gen 6, probably because us 12-year-olds couldn't resist screaming poopy butthole into the mic. And with the Switch lacking a built-in microphone of any kind, the gimmick is unlikely to return. So he's not even a gimmick Pokemon anymore, he's just bad. As far as a potential evolution goes, I think he'd be fine as just a pure flying type, but I'd add the protein ability to his kit as the main buff, playing into the colorful nature of the parrot. Even if Chatot itself is unlikely to ever become a great Pokemon, having an evolution with such a sought-after ability is sure to justify Chatot's extreme rarity. Hey, we're halfway through the video, so if you're enjoying, just be sure to leave a like, it helps me out a lot. I also want to check in on all my buddies named Jason to make sure they're subscribed. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you, big dog. Everybody else go check real quick too, just to make sure. You never know, you might have been unsubscribed accidentally. Okay, let's get back to it. Number 5. Probably the least bold pick on this list, the Pokemon that already has 8 evolutions, Eevee. Does Eevee need an evolution like all the other Pokemon listed here? No, not really. But you can't deny it, a new evolution brings a certain level of hype into a new generation. It's a fan-favorite Pokemon with seemingly infinite possibilities. Or, I should say, 9 remaining possibilities. It's worth noting that Gen 8 was the first time that an even-numbered generation didn't introduce a new evolution, and now it's been a record 9 years since the last evolution, Sylveon, was introduced. I know that with Sylveon being a solo evolution to promote a new type, many people believe that Sylveon was meant to be the last evolution. But, I don't know, even if it makes sense, it would just be a massive bummer to never get another one. So, hypothetically, if we did, I think Ghost and Steel-type evolutions would be really cool. I know Dragon is highly requested too, but I think we have enough dragons on this list as is. Not that I complain if that did end up happening, though. Number 4. Probably one of my favorite Pokemon from the 7th generation, and also one that let me down more than most, Kamala. Yeah, koalas don't really have anything to do with Spain, and realistically this would probably happen in an Australian-based region, but that doesn't mean I can't write to Santa and ask for it anyway, in March. I'm getting a head start this year. I think Kamala and its potential evolution could easily be reworked into a Psychic Grass type. Why it wasn't Psychic to begin with, I will never know. This Pokemon's whole shtick is that it battles while dreaming. I would think that you need psychic powers to do that, but I don't know, maybe he's just faking it. Admittedly, this one is a bit more personal than the others on this list. I just really like Kamala, and I think he could be way better and literally be any type that isn't just pure normal. Number 3. Quick, think of a cactus Pokemon. Great, now that you're thinking of that one, I want you to think of the one that you didn't think about. Maractus has always been playing second fiddle, or second maraca, to Cacturne in that department, but I think it's high time for Maractus to break out of Cacturne's shadow. While maracas did not originate from Spain, they are often associated with Hispanic culture across the world. Plus, we've already seen a desert area featured in this region, so I'm feeling a little confident on this one. Being one of the less popular Pokemon, sorry Maractus stands, it's true, I think Maractus could really turn a lot of heads with an evolution that is our very first grass fire type, a highly requested typing that would fit rather well for a cactus that bakes in the sunlight all day long. Fitting the culture of the region, not being out of place, and buffing what would otherwise be a very underwhelming and forgettable Pokemon are my top criteria for giving a new evolution, so it's no surprise that Maractus would land towards the top of this list. Number 2. As probably one of the worst Pokemon ever made, there is no reason for Luvdisc to not get a new evolution. We already got baited once with Alomomola in Gen 5, let's not repeat the same mistake twice. But really, the first mistake was somebody going into Game Freak's office in 2002 and saying, "Hey guys, let's design an extremely bland and forgettable Pokemon with absolutely awful stats and everything except for speed, give it Swift Swim, and call it a day." So first and foremost, we're giving the regional form of Luvdisc and its evolution arguably one of the best type combinations out there, Water Fairy. I could visualize its evolution having like a long fin that resembles hair flowing out from behind it, maybe a little bit pinker, just anything to make this Pokemon a little more interesting and a lot more viable. Number 1! What else could it be but the national animal of Spain itself, the bull? Or in this case, Tauros. Now admittedly, Tauros, other than Eevee, is probably the least deserving of a new evolution on this list. Tauros is at least good enough to where it can function as it is now, it's certainly not useless. But Game Freak does have a knack for designing Pokemon to fit the region, like making Braviary for Unova, or basing Bruxish off of this. And I can't even begin to tell you how remarkably British most of the Gen 8 Pokemon were. And of course, Spain is famous for having many bull runs and also bullfighting with the guy who waves around the red cape, even though it's quite dangerous and is apparently being outlawed in a lot of places. But still, bulls in general are just iconic to Spain. Heck, Tauros literally comes from toro, which is Spanish for bull. So he's got that going for him already. Man's already got hooves and what appears to be metal on his forehead, and maybe he's got metal around his horns already. It's kinda hard to tell. So maybe they lean into that and we get our first ever normal steel type. Whether it's a regional form, an evolution, or both. Not the most exciting new type combination in the world, but I'm all for crossing it off the list at least. Similar to Digong, who we mentioned at the beginning of this video, Tauros is a rather simplistic design. Some might even say it's literally just a bull with 3 tails. So I think no matter what direction they take it in, there's room for a lot of potential designs, so I hope they come up with something. But hey, those are just my 10 Pokemon that I'd like to see evolve in Gen 9. Which ones do you agree with, and which ones that I didn't cover do you want to see happen as well? Once again, if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, it helps me out a lot, and subscribe for more videos like this one. I'll see you guys next time.